All right. So if anybody wants to come off mute and share their answer, or you could put it in the chat box. Ms. Board is checking answers there. What does this term mean to you? Problem formulation.
The term problem formulation means what that means to me is basically like with each problem it has like a certain way or ways you can solve it. So like, to me, problem formulation is like a way you can solve a problem.
I like it. Thank you, Kayla, for getting us started. Anybody want to add to that?
Hamza said, I don't really remember, but I would say writing out or describing a problem.
Nice. Okay. Anybody else? Thank you, Hamza. Those are two good answers in the right direction for sure. Is that a psych out answer? That was like a raise the hand but touch your hair. I always fall for that. I think it was Terrell, but I'm not sure. All right, those are two good answers to get us started. You can add on if you want, but the reality is we haven't talked about it as much as we normally do. This year has obviously been a very unique year for everybody. But if you think towards the beginning of the year, we did introduce this idea of problem formulation. It's one of the KCS, right? KCS stands for Key Cognitive Strategies. To rattle them off real quick: problem formulation, research, interpretation, communication, and precision. You must have heard those terms either in this class or other classes here and there throughout the year and last year if you were a ninth grader at Origins, but it's something that we want to reintroduce to you because we do have roundtables coming up for math later this month or possibly right after spring break. The date is yet to be set. And usually these are the areas that we present around, okay? They're the kind of higher order thinking skills that every type of learning kind of is revolved around. So just a reminder of where you should have seen this most consistently. Where is this taken from?
Scholars Challenge.
Yes, sir. So this is page 2 of every single Scholars Challenge that you see. It's laid out in this section. At the top, it'll say this, problem formulation, and then there's 2 sections. So these are the examples of the kinds of thinking that problem formulation is all about, right? So whenever you're asking yourself, hey, what is this problem actually asking? Or does it remind you of another problem or situation that you've, thought about before or solved before, right? Using prior knowledge. Or if you're making any kind of prediction, like, okay, I think this is going to involve this topic, or I'm going to use this strategy because it's related to the problem and can explain why. These are the kinds of thoughts that problem formulation describe. Okay, and when does this thinking tend to happen? It happens before you solve a problem. Usually students in math especially are so worried about getting the answer, that they don't spend enough time thinking about the problem and how they're going to get the answer. And that can be very, very powerful thinking to make you a better problem solver. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. So does anybody, now that you hear that, do you want to add anything else or ask any further questions? So when we say problem formulation, we're asking you to think about your thinking before you solve a problem, right? It's like, what's your plan? Okay. All right, I'm gonna pause the video there just for this, if I can figure out where it is. Okay, so stop recording. Oops. Sorry guys, bear with me 1 second. Stop recording.